Okay, so we are talking about getting students to show up at your school. And we did a little survey. It was just two questions. And the two questions were, one is, how's your website? And about a third of people, about like 40% of people said, it's good, but not great. Other people said, it's great. I'd say the majority of people said it's good, but not great. And then some people said it's not great. And other people said, no, mine is really great. And then the other question was, what's the biggest challenge that you have? What are we looking at? And so I've got actually the numbers right here. I don't have to guess. Exactly 28.83% people said a comprehensive marketing plan is really what we're looking to do. The next big chunk is 27%. Let's just call it 30. Another 30% people said getting people to visit our website. And then we have 12% of people said getting people who are on our website to inquire. And another 12% of people said getting people those who did inquire to book an on-site meeting. So it makes sense. So we're going to actually talk about all of that right here. And I'm excited to show you how, and this is how we're going to do it. So, the cool, okay, there's some complicated stuff in here, but I'm only going to show you the easy stuff that you could do today without doing a lot of effort. So if you're looking for complicated stuff, you're at the wrong webinar. So quick introductions. My name is Steven. I'll be your host here. And we've got Vince Yankowski. You could say your last name for us.
Yankowski, Vince Yankowski. I'm the head of the website department here at GreatLink. And I like to, without too much pride, say that I'm a website guru.
There we go. We got your own guru. Okay, now lots of people showed up. All right, so anyone who's just joined us, if you want to be on camera, you're welcome to. And if you want to ask a question, you're welcome to. You don't have to mute yourself. And you can interrupt us as we're talking. That's okay. It's just, imagine we're just at a really big coffee shop. Okay, so we're going to look at the simple things you can do to get inquiries. So there's actually just a few of them, Vince. I'm just going to kind of walk through them with people with some pictures. But if you want to just throw out something that you recommend, just throw it out. So the first one, it should be mobile friendly. So like, here's two pictures of a website. Which one do you think a parent, if they're on their phone, is going to book a tour with? Right, the one on the right? Because
I think it's pretty obvious, Steve.
Yeah.
You can't even see the button on the first option.
So usually if you pull up your website and then yours looks like the one on the left and you're discouraged, don't be discouraged. It's not that complicated. Usually your website theme has like a mobile theme setting and it just might be tucked away somewhere that you haven't seen before. So you just have to modify that. I mean, if your website was built in like the last 5 years, Vince, it's probably gonna have a mobile theme, right?
Yeah.
It's
pretty unlikely that you'll have any website builder that's not mobile responsive at this point.
Right. But your site does look like that. All it just means is that you just left your mobile theme at the default and you just need to change it. So it's important, but don't stress too much. You can fix it. Okay. The next one is good photos. Now, photos are hard. And I found that maybe, I don't know, like some schools do great with photos and other ones, they just didn't maybe realize how important it is. But come on, like who wants to be on the team on the left versus the one on the right? So having exciting photos is important because we want to get people excited. You can do certain things, like if you take your photo, you can put it in the Photoshop or a photo editor and kind of brighten up the colors. Like the one on the left is kind of dim. They could just tweak some of the photo colors and it would still be a kind of boring photo, but it would be more exciting.
Yeah, with photos, just to go back to that real quick, Steve, more frequently what we see on school websites is they line all the kids up and they say, everybody say cheese. And so you've got a whole bunch of staged photos of the kids, which is great if you're an existing parent, because then you're like, hey, that's my kid. He's on the website. But actually, that is ineffective when it comes to, it's boring, right?
Yeah.
Actually, the photo that you chose here, the first one, some people might think that that's a pretty decent photo. But if you look at it, like you said, it's dim. The expression on the people's faces, they look worn out. They look tired. It's not exactly the most encouraging, inspirational sports photo you ever saw.
Like this is like the guy you don't want to hand it off to. You're like, okay, are you even gonna run? Because you kind of just like you're like just woke up, but
Just
yeah.
barely jogging. But
Okay.
yeah, the one on the right is definitely a lot more inspirational, engaging, because we're looking for engaging photos on a website, something
Yeah.
that'll create an impression for that prospective family that's seeing your site for the first time.
Right. And Vince, I'm thinking like you only need 10 good photos on your website, maybe, right? Like it's not like you need a million of them.
Right.
So I don't know. If you all agree, give us a thumbs up. If you think something different, I don't know, put a thumbs down or throw it out, whatever your ideas are. You can talk to. This is not a webinar typical. This is a conversation. Okay, this is real important. And this is, I think this is the hardest part of websites is your message. And so usually people just leave this out. But the message is like when you go to a website, okay, sometimes a school website is super obvious, like, oh, this is a school that does such and such, but sometimes it's not obvious. So what you really basically have to figure out is like, as you're on the website, you're like, okay, what is this? How does it help me? How do I get it? If those questions are easily understood and answered, then someone is going to do the next step. And now for a school, how do I get it? Yes, you apply and you fill out the registration form, but that's usually not where you start, right? You usually like, okay, how about we talk on the phone and make sure that you're like a 5-minute phone call or 10-minute phone call would probably figure it out. Or you can do like an inquiry form and we just ask the basics stuff. Or like maybe past that, you might do book a tour, like an on-site tour. So usually I apply now, I'll see that as someone's like main, I'm looking here where it says like at the bottom where it says, how do I get it? I don't think apply now is really the right thing for people, even though that's a very popular call to action to have. But I'm kind of stepping ahead because that's the next one. But let me give you a formula. So here's kind of what you want to do. If you're like, I don't get it, Steve, I'll show you some examples a little bit later, but this is the idea. Your big message at the top will be like your powerful message. So you don't put something like my Apple Academy. Like you don't put the name of your school as the headline. You want to put like what it is that you do, some cool outcome that you get. And then the subline, you want to put like kind of a benefit. If you can throw in the mystery, that's even better. So like, well, I'll show you an example in a second. And then book a tour, that's my call to action. You can pick a different one. Obviously, it's your site. All right. Anything to add to that, Vince?
Yeah, I would say it is really important, especially for that powerful heading. Unfortunately, what we see a lot of times on school websites is welcome to this and that school.
Yeah.
So it's basically a welcome, which, if you just look at it from a very basic standpoint, okay, it's nice to welcome people to your school, but from a marketing perspective, that's really ineffective. What you want is a powerful statement about what the school's all about and why is it a good thing for people to go to your school as opposed to anybody else? You've got to set yourself apart.
It's like the subject line in an email. Like if you send out emails and you know that only 30% of people are going to open it, like a newsletter email, right? Mm-hmm. You got a 30% open rate. Like, okay, they're looking at the subject line of the email and deciding whether they want to click on it, right? And open it. So if you just put like welcome to, you're not really saying anything. And that was like, I guarantee everyone will read that sentence. And depending how good it is, they'll scroll down. I mean, yes and no too, because I'm also thinking like there's only 5 private schools in the area. They're going to go to all 5 websites unless they're crazy, right? Or unless they're dedicated to one already. But still, don't waste that opportunity.
Yeah, we'd like to see something about the mystery portion for sure.
I'll show you that in a second. Okay, the other one, this is the best one. Just ask for an inquiries. So left or right, which one will get an inquiry? Or more of them. The one on the left because it says schedule tour. The other one doesn't. So I switched that up because usually the one on the right was the good one. And the bad one's on the left.
Just make sure we're all paying attention.
Yeah. Maybe I was just being inconsistent. What I see sometimes is people will put the schedule tour button or the call to action. Like you have to scroll down to find it. And I was like, okay, just make it what they call above the fold, which is just like, it comes from like the newspaper era, but basically without having to scroll, you should be able to see like what it is that is the very next step that you have to do. So that's all. Just quick check, everyone. Anyone Oh, let me see real quick. I got a question here.
So
Okay,
yeah,
Vince,
just
you're
to
a host.
reemphasize.
I don't know if I can be a co-host, but you're a host for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Um,
I was just going to reiterate. So the important part, left versus right picture, maybe it's not immediately obvious to you, but the asking to schedule a tour or asking for inquiries right off the bat is actually very powerful.
yeah,
We've had an instance in the past where there was a website and it was decent looking, but it didn't ask for that inquiry. It didn't have a schedule a tour button or an inquiry button right on top of the page. They were booking about 1 to 2 per week, tours, that is. And after they made a modification to their website, they actually launched a new website with GradeLink. They had that schedule a tour button and they started booking 3 to 5 per week.
oh,
So
I think I know who that is. Is that
Snoqualmie.
Snoqualmie?
Yes,
Okay.
we've had other instances like that as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's silly, but like just ask for the inquiry and people will inquire. Oh, okay. And then I should do this. Don't make, okay, I don't have a slide for this, but this is a pet peeve of mine. And I feel bad because it's not really your fault, but you just have to be aware. You can't make your inquiry form super long. Like a lot of people, their inquiry form, sometimes they'll have like 15 questions on it. This is too long. You want it to be like very, very, very short. GradeLink does provide like a free inquiry form that you can use. And I think that's like medium length. It has a couple different fields on it, and they're all non-required. That one's good, or even honestly, just one with just your email or something. Or the SSA, I didn't get into that, but I'll just mention it. Do you guys, all right, I'll say that for a second. But the best thing is if you're using a website from GradeLink, the schedule a tour button allows them to literally schedule the tour. It's not just put in your name and an email and then we'll get back in touch with you. I'll show you that in a second though.
Yeah, I'd like to actually address a quick question related to that here in the chat. Kim, you asked, do we have some sort of booking software or just send them to a contact page or phone number? As Steve just mentioned, Kim, the much more effective way is to have an actual form that allows you to actually book an appointment or like choose a date and time, and then it'll send a notification email to both the person who booked it. And here's an example here. It's on GradeLink's website, right?
But you get this exact same thing.
Exactly. We do have software built into all of our sites that allows us to do this. So it does contain booking software. Now, of course, you could technically use a solution like Calendly or Acuity. There's a bunch of booking softwares out there, but you usually have to pay like a subscription fee to add it onto your site and get certain functionalities, etc.
Right.
So,
yeah. So if you're going to use a GradeLink's website, then this comes for free, and it's like unlimited appointments for unlimited people. So definitely do this. He was mentioned Calendly. I always have a hard time spelling it. There, Calendly. If you just go to their pricing, they have a free one. It says Calendly on it, and it has the basic things, but you're missing some stuff. But if you have 2 people who do tours, you now need to pay $8 per seat per month.
Right. Exactly.
So you're okay.
The downside to just sending it to a contact page or a phone number is that, well, specifically the phone number, the question is, do you always have somebody 24/7 manning the phone? And if not, yes, you have a voicemail, but how often do voicemails get returned? In the busyness of running the school. And many times they're looking to book a tour right away, or they're interested at that point. And by the time you've gotten to their voicemail, they may have lost some of their interest or excitement about your school because they've moved on to other options.
And like the timing,
same thing applies to
like you, Vince. Vince has like a little child at home. So if you're calling about your preschooler, so usually when people enter a school, they're going to be either preschool or kindergarten or like 6th grade. There's like usually the entry points, right? So a parent of a preschooler, are you researching the school like during the 9 to 3 period, 9 to 3 p.m.? Or is it more like a 9 p.m. to 3 a.m.?
Nope. Typically it's after the kids are down and finished up
Yeah.
all the work for the day, running errands. So it's pretty late at night. And by then there's not somebody on the other end that's going to
Right.
respond to my email or call right away.
Yeah. So, and you just know, obviously, I'm not going to call the school like 9 p.m. They're not open.
Right.
So like a scheduling thing, it just makes sense.
Exactly.
So yeah, that is a free, and there's some other options, but that's way more powerful, I think, than just like a fill out the form. And you get all the same, contact information. And even if you don't get all of their like what grade level and what this and what that, you can ask it when they show up in person, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so here's the big deal. Like, so for people who are saying, a lot of people are saying in the survey that, hey, we really want to get more people to our website. And the other big chunk was like, I want to get the people who are on my website to inquire, which is natural. You should definitely want those things. But I'm wondering if, so 98% people will visit your website and actually not take action. And that's true of like every website. That's not just like private schools in general. It's most websites. But I'm thinking like, if your first question is, how do I get more people to my website? Yes, there are ways to do it and it's not that hard. But the first thing that comes to my head is maybe there are enough people visiting your website already and you just don't know because you don't have good analytics, right? So like maybe you do have this ton of people, but they're just visiting the website and they don't see a good inquiry form and they don't inquire, or they look around and they don't really understand what's so special about it. And so they don't really know, like, what should I inquire for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if
That's
I already
right.
know what the tuition is, I already know everything about it. I don't know what to do next. So I think just kind of the website design itself will do it. All right, so let me show you. This was who Vince was talking about, Heather. I guess if you want to give the recap again, Vince, since I have the slide up.
Oh, sure. So this was a school, we developed their website 2 years ago. And what happened was they went from booking 1 to 2 tours with their old website to the new website, which now had a clear call to action and actually asked for families to schedule a tour. And so they could choose a date and time specifically on the site and schedule it. This actually, she said, it saves us so much paperwork and hours spent handling calls and answering questions on the phone that could be asked during a tour. So highly effective solution for this school. And it really played out well for them.
Yeah. So please, this is super easy. Just make sure that your call to action button is at the top of the page. And then some people like in the header, they call it like a sticky header. It just means that when you scroll down here, actually Great Link is like that, right?
Yeah.
So when you scroll down on the page, see how like the header sticks to the top? That's called a sticky header.
Yeah.
So if you have your call to action button, like watch a demo or book a tour or whatever at the top, you put that there. If you don't have a sticky header, then just have the button, whatever it is that you're supposed to do next, like book a tour, just have that repeated over and over throughout the site.
Actually, it doesn't hurt to have both. You want to have repetition. Perhaps if you have a sticky header, put the button in there, but then also have it throughout the page because people's eyes are on the content on the page. So you'll want to keep reminding them, even in a subconscious kind of a way, that the next step is to book a tour.
Yes. Okay. We're taking a little coffee break, guys. Okay. This is the coolest thing. And so I just thought we should do a giveaway. So if you guys want to book a tour with GradeLink, you get one of these and you get to pick the color. So if you're like, what is this thing? It's this thing. I don't know. You push this button and then that thing at the end spins and then it foams up your coffee. Mine's probably won't milk frother. Thank you.
A milk.
Not the thing, but you put it in there.
Thank you, Bridget.
It's better when you don't mix the milk with the coffee first, because then it does a cool coffee look for you. But honestly, it's brilliant. You get cool milk frothing. It'll do cold foam and hot foam. So how do you get this? This is what you do. You go to this website. I'll put the link in here for you. Let's put that in
the chat.
Websites.greatlink.com, and then I'll click this analyze my site. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put this in the chat. So if you click on this link and you fill out this form and pick a day, as long as you fill out the form today, then we will ship one of these to you and you can tell us what color you want. But you don't actually have to meet us today. We'll just ship it in the future. So what is this form? What are you meeting about? Vince, why don't you just tell them, like, what is this thing
Sure.
that I'm asking them to sign up for?
So this appointment is a free 15-minute consultation. And that what you'll get out of this is we'll go through your actual school website and give you specific tips that you can, actionable items that is, that you can do to your site to help increase the conversion. So make sure that 98% statistic we had earlier of people leaving your site without taking any action, make sure that statistic goes down. And you also will analyze your message, see if your message really is clear, take a look at some of your photos on the website, etc. We'll go through this 5 website must-haves methodology and apply it to your site and provide you with those specific actionable items. So it is pretty high value. There's absolutely no commitment to any of our services. We're out to help our schools get better at what they're doing, which is getting more people to sign up for private education.
So it's basically what we're doing right now, but what we're doing right now, we're doing kind of a mini one we're going to review a couple of sites right now. In the next slide, I'll start reviewing some school sites right now. Yes. But we're going to do kind of a mini session. We're going to do 15 minutes for each site. We'll do like a 2-minute for each school site. But if you want like a dedicated 15 minutes, we'll do that for you. Yeah. Good. All right. Okay, sorry. Here's the question. Will the tips be in writing? Can I keep the analysis? Oh, yeah. So this little picture here, I don't know if you can tell it very well.
Yeah, we give you a grade sheet. So we fill out the grade sheet while we're in that 15-minute session. And then we'll send that to you along with a video recording of that session. So you have all your feedback in recorded format.
Oh, it's like a little video. Okay, that's good. And then you get that little piece of paper.
Right. You get your grade sheet and you get a recording of the actual analysis session. Of course, assuming that you want that.
All right. Hope that makes sense, Tori. Okay, let's jump into it. Okay, so we are going to do live website reviews. So when you all signed up for the webinar, there's a little checkbox that says, do you want me to review your site on live? So we're going to review them all. I don't know if we're going to get a chance to do all of them, but we'll do as much as we can. So if we don't get to you, please don't feel bad. Okay. Second, there's some house rules with this. We don't want to hurt your feelings, but we do want to be very honest with you. So we will be very honest, but in a nice way, not in a brutal way. So there's no sugarcoating here. Second is look on the bright side. So if we find something like, hey, this is a major problem, the bright side is you can make a lot more inquiries if you fix this or get a lot more tours booked, right?
Yep. It's only for your benefit.
Yes.
We're not bashing anybody's site. We're simply providing feedback that'll help you improve.
Okay. And for our audience participation, this is how you can help. So if your site is being shown to everyone else, there is obviously going to be some nervousness about that. But as the audience, you can help this person you can leave some encouraging notes on there about what it is that you think they're doing really well. So if they did a great photo or they did some really cool layout, throw that out in the chat. I'm sure they would really appreciate that. The second is if there's something that we don't mention, but you see is like, whoa, there's a spelling mistake or, this thing is weird or something like that, throw it out there. It's always nice to have a second pair of eyes on your website. So, all right. Okay, so here's our first website, and I'm going to basically pull this up in this here. I'm going to try it. All right, cool. It opened up. All right, so we're going to pop this open. Okay, here we go. So here's our website. We've got our header, and I'm going to evaluate it on very specific things. So I'm going to look at basically the things I just showed you, but I have them written down right over here.
Okay, by the way, if anybody notices the video lags a little bit, that's only from Zoom. The live doesn't lag that much.
Yes. Okay, so my first thing I'm looking at is, do they have a very clear message? I don't know. What do you got to think? It says Grace Christian School. And then it says a ministry of the Lutheran Church. So I'm like, okay, I know what it is, right? That part of the message is clear. I know exactly what this is. This is a Christian school that's ministry of Grace Lutheran Church. It doesn't tell me like the benefit. I mean, I can assume that like,
yes.
Right? So it doesn't give the benefit. It doesn't have a lot of mystery. Colors I think are really cool. Maybe I'm just partial to blue and yellow, but I like the colors. I think it was kind of cool blue tint on the pictures. They have the call to action pretty clear. You can figure that out. Sorry, that was my next bit. Is there a clear call to action? Yes, I think there is. Oh, there was one place where, let me see here. Okay, I would change this. So when you click schedule a tour, it goes into fill out the form. And this is the form that GradLink provided, which is a great form. But I think what would have been better is to use the this thing where you can pick the date and time. I think that would be more effective.
Right.
So Kara, if you're with
Yeah,
us,
just to
we'll help you with
clarify that is the inquiry form that dumps the submission into GradLink, but it dumps it into a place where you can't really do anything with it. It's like a tiny mini CRM. But if you want them to like convert that to enrollment, it doesn't do that either. So the benefits of having a scheduling option, I think would probably outweigh having it go into GradLink SIS.
Okay, and then there was one other thing. It's just here. So we have here schedule a tour, which I think is a natural place to start. But then down here it says enroll now, and this is on the about us page. And maybe I'm being picky, but I would keep it with schedule a tour because I don't really expect someone's going to go from never talking to me to enroll. I know there are actually, okay, I do expect a certain percentage of the population to do that, but I don't think that's like the normal way to do it, right?
If anything, that enrollment call to action might do better on, say, the admissions page. If you had a step-by-step admissions page,
right,
that says like steps to admission, then you could place it on there. But it's a little bit out of context and it's not consistent with the main call to action.
Right, and they have our enroll now button here, which is good.
Right, that makes sense as well.
So here, like enroll. I was like, I just keep those with book a tour. I think that'd be fine. And then there was one other place where there was something that was I can't remember where it is, but it was a kind of a learn more type of thing, but it used the bright yellow color. And so I'm being picky. I think the bright yellow should just reserve for your main thing that you want them to do. I'm gonna try to find it. And then I would see how the top is like bright yellow for book a tour, but then the other ones are like gray with a little yellow stripe around the corner. I think this is like the donate, enroll now, and my GCS. Those are great because those are like not the main thing that we want to do. They're just normal buttons. So I would reserve the yellow background only for the main thing that I want to do. And sorry, I reviewed this earlier and I can't remember where that was, but
yeah, having other buttons that use the same color and style as the main call to action, it's not recommended. There it is.
Maybe it was this. Yeah, like this one, I would just style it like those other ones.
Right.
Or down here, you have like this bluish one, and like that would be good because that's not the main thing.
Just differentiate it a little bit.
Okay. All right. Now comes this thing. I got to show you this. All right. Does it work on mobile? So can you see this, Vince?
Yes, we can see that.
So you could pick your the size of the phone, but I think it works good on mobile. It's fine to me. The only thing weird is that at the top we have these big buttons. So I thought, and then you have the hamburger thing here too.
Right. The hamburger
might just
menu.
hide those on mobile, I guess, or I don't know, change the mobile menu. But
certainly could, yeah.
I think it's definitely very usable on mobile. Okay. Next site, we're going to go to, I'll close this one. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Sorry, I meant to show you this. So before we move on, I thought I would show kind of you may disagree with my thing here, but I wanted to put something other than just Grace Christian School as the headline. So I would put something like where logic and faith meet, because that's kind of the exciting message. And then the subtitle is the benefit plus mystery. So be bold for Christ, that's the benefit, and attend a prestigious university. That's supposed to be the mystery of wait, what? How does that happen? Well, if you go to their website, then they have a lot of stuff about how kids have attended prestigious universities, but you have to scroll down to find that out. So this would be something that I would say you should do. I don't know if this is the final thing. I spent maybe 10 minutes, something like that, thinking about this. But I just want to kind of lead you in the right direction. So
I think it definitely has that mystery part because even I was going a prestigious university. Wait, this is
what?
an elementary school.
Well, yeah.
So I think it does beg the question, and
Yeah.
anytime you pique people's curiosity, then there's a chance that they'll want to find out more.
Yes, and you'll just have to visit their website to find out what universities they're going to.
Exactly.
All right, we're gonna go to the next one here. Okay, so here's this one. There's a lot going on the site. So I'm just gonna scroll down so you can see. Really good video, by the way, if you do watch it. And they've got these really cool logos of different schools that graduates attend. And they've got no more videos, which are also great to have. And we got kind of some cool little icons. And this video is also, I mean, just the photo right there is also really nice videography. So I think the main thing here is we don't really have a message, right? So if we're going to start with our formula here, what's the clear message here? There isn't one. There's the name of the school, and then there isn't like this is why you should go here, and this is what we do. For all of us watching, we can probably figure out this is a Catholic school from looking at it. So I would definitely have a clear message. Probably gonna change that. And then the second thing is, what do we want them to do? So let's scroll down here and we'll find it. Now enrolling. Okay, so here is the application link. If you can see that. So the easy shortcut would be put the application link somewhere in the header and put a message that says why you should go here, kind of like on Grace Christian and the previous one. And then let me show the mobile version. So the mobile version is not bad. It's pretty navigatable, right? It's not complicated at all to use. So the mobile style, I think, is fine.
It stacks properly, so that's good.
Yeah, stacks, that's the right word. Thanks, Vince. I mean, aesthetically, you might want to do this or that, but I think that part is working fine. What else?
Kind of looks like the main call to action here is raffle prizes, so like donation campaigns. But we would definitely recommend putting that on its own separate landing page for
like
donations.
Definitely put it on donations, because then you can have all the donors go there and you can talk about what you do with the money, right. And who else has given and that kind of thing. So it had all right, so this is the kind of formula layout. So you can use this layout, and if you start looking around the internet, you'll actually see a lot of people use this layout, or they might flip-flop it, or they might just take the photo and put it in the background. But essentially, your logo, the powerful message, and then benefit mystery and clear call to action. Now, the photo I put on there, proof of the result. So you don't want to just put like a photo. You want to put if you can, a photo that looks like, oh, that's like the powerful message, but in picture form. Does that make sense, Vince?
I think it does. I think you could even get away with putting that image as a background image behind the statement and call to action.
Yeah,
so,
background image would be fine, or I mean,
depending on what it is, really.
Yeah, those are all fine. Okay. Cool. All right. Let's see here. Here's True Prep Academy. Let me pop them open. So kind of the cool mysterious thing, and then let's title this video. If you watch it, it's really well made. Whoever made that, good job. They did a great job. They've got good music. They've got good everything. The message is good. I like a lot about it. But okay, what is the clear message here? Right. So they have a really interesting quote here, and it says, "It's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men." And if you read about their website, what they're doing is it's a school for boys, and they're transitioning them into men, and they're doing a lot of things to really build into these kids. And you kind of get that from here, but it's a little hard to read with the logo behind it. And let's see, if you go way down here, you got to find the application. So the real quick one would be like, well, easy, just put that one up at the top, right? Problem solved. Kind of a lot of links up here. I didn't really mention that. There isn't like a rule, you have to have this many links or not, but I don't know, it's like 5-ish or less buttons along the top.
I definitely, you want to probably utilize some sub menus, kind of categorize things. So, for example, tuition and fees, typically you could put it under admissions.
Yeah,
Our
or these could
team
be,
could go under about us. Event photos can go under about us. Employment can also go under about us.
yeah,
So you can really consolidate a lot of these things. And I was also going to mention about the call to action. Again, Steve mentioned this earlier, the application, having that as a call to action. Typically, if someone's just researching your school, they're not going to be ready to apply right away. So
no,
it might be
yeah,
worth their while to consider maybe putting a different call to action that's a little bit earlier on in the prospective family process, or so like
what they
scheduling
could
a
do,
tour, for
tour,
example.
or since they have these really cool videos, they've got a couple of them on the site,
Right.
and different photos and stuff. What they could do is like have like take that video that's like a couple minutes long and then just do like a 5-second like loop of the video, that like the exciting part. And their call to action could say something like to watch the virtual tour, and they fill out a name and email and all that, and then what they do is they can just basically watch the video. And then I don't know, because you've got good videos. Okay, this one, it should be like in a bright color, probably that gold color, but not black, because it kind of doesn't stand out. And then when you click it, it goes here. And so this is like what a parent has to fill out. But then I'm not a new user, so I have to click here, create new user. So then I have to click again. So I would say this is kind of okay, if this is the inquiry form that we want to fill out, then just link directly to that. Don't link to the pirate one. Sorry. Don't
if
link
it's
to this
possible,
inquiry
given your
link to that
system,
one.
because some systems it might not allow you to, because it's like a dynamic link. But yes, typically you want to have it go straight to the actual application rather than a login page. The more gateways you have set up for people to access certain things, the less likely people are going to be to finish it out.
Okay, so here's this. All right, so the shopping cart icon is here, and that's probably part of like their theme, but that's probably like not like the main thing that, it's not an e-commerce website. So
yeah, it's probably using an e-commerce theme, and
yeah,
got to figure out how to hide that.
Yeah, but overall it stacks pretty good. I don't think you need the 2 columns on mobile if you can stack it so there's just like 1 column instead.
Right.
That would be a little easier, but overall it's pretty good. And like black and white and gold is like a really powerful combo, so that's good. Okay. Oh, so this is kind of what I would just change. So just put your main thing, what you do, at the top, and then the big button that says register here.
Right.
Just 2 things you could add, and you don't have to come up with, there's a lot of pressure to come up with like the right tagline. Take it off yourself. Just put a tagline. You can change it tomorrow. It's a website, right?
Right.
You don't have to get it perfect the first time. It's okay to be not perfect. This will just be an improvement over your current situation.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. Now, if you guys are listening and you're like, I want to write my website reviewed, you can either go to our website and we'll do yours privately, just with you, or you can just throw out your website link in the chat, and if we got time, we'll do it right now. Okay. So I just put out the link in the chat if you want us to review yours privately. All right, here's Lou Tech. So let me go back, actually, click on this one. So here's Lou Tech. Lou Tech is a high school. They're Lutheran and then technology. So I get Lou Tech. So I do like the color scheme. It's like bright and bold and has a very clear sense of branding. So that's nice. It does have the message, right? That's our first criteria. Do you have a clear message of what you do? But I don't know, it's clear, but it's got a lot of words in it, right?
It's a bit long.
Yeah. So if you can get it down to like 1 line, that would be great. So I think, like, well, what do you do with this long version? You don't throw it away, just keep it, but find a short version of that, and then use the short version here, and then later down the road, you put the long version in the site. That way people can see what it is immediately. And then there's not the button, the call to action button. I know we have the admissions here, but it almost like core values is like more highlighted than the admissions because it's in a different color. So that's why I was leaning a little bit more towards something like here, where we have our mission statement, or not mission statement, but like whatever, our benefit statement, arrange a tour, and then a picture. And the picture should be of, they look like kids on technology and they were wearing blue shirts. So I thought that kind of went with the theme. But if this is tech, then show high school kids doing tech, right?
Yep. Makes sense. Hey, Steve, it looks like we got 3 people that would like their website to get looked at.
Should we try it? Okay.
We could probably squeeze 3, but probably no more than that.
Okay. We just want it to be on the fly. Let's try it out. Okay, cool. All right, criteria number 1. Is there a clear statement about what it is that you do? Hey, they do. Builder of boys, maker of men for the kingdom. So this sounds like it's a school for boys, and it's a Christian school for boys, right? And the benefit is that you're making tagline. Yeah, right. Good job. Good job. I think it's cool. Do you have a clear call to action? No,
not really initially.
Oh, down here.
Down here. But typically we recommend that it's above the fold because you've only got about 5 seconds to get somebody's attention.
Yes. So above the fold means I should see it without having to scroll. So let me put that in here and just see. This is what it looks like on your phone. Looks good. But down here is the buttons. So move the buttons in the header or somewhere at the top if you can.
Right.
The buttons stand out in color. I would put the text in white on the buttons. The buttons don't look good. I'm not sure what to do. It is using that bright red color, but maybe if you can use this big font and in white color font, that would look better.
Maybe a white font would do a little bit better. Another thing about those buttons, before we move on from that, is it looks like they're both moving to the application or enrollment form.
Yeah, that's not
as we mentioned earlier, that your initial call to action, again, most families are not going to be ready to apply right away. So pick one, especially if they're visiting for the very first time on your site. So the initial call to action should be a simple inquiry form and or having them schedule a tour if you offer those.
And you don't have 2 buttons because then it's like
that dilutes it. It dilutes it.
It dilutes it. Just pick one and use this big font. That's a better font. Okay, on mobile, looks good. You know, I didn't go in deep depth it, but it looks good enough. All right, we do one more.
And again, these are only 2 minutes. So if you want a full-on 15-minute website analysis with a bit more detail and more help, then definitely book a website analysis with us.
Okay. Okay. Our sister school, find your extraordinary now accepting applications. Okay. So does it have a clear message about what this school is? I mean, no, I can tell it says our sister school and then there is a girl. So it's probably a school for girls. Right. But it doesn't actually say that. And then
find your extraordinary is kind of a marketing speak, just a very general, it's not even really making a statement. It's like a branding phrase, but it's not quite doing what it needs to.
There's something in here though. Like what they're saying is that if you go here, like there's something extraordinary, you have potential for extraordinary,
right?
And they're going to pull it out of you,
right?
So
how do we make that more specific so that it
so I think something like become extraordinary, or like what's like the Disney always does this, not be all you can be in the army, but what's like Disney's phrases where they like you're a princess. I'm not trying to knock it, but Disney does this really well in all of their movies. Sorry, I haven't watched a Disney movie in a while, but okay, something, the fact that you can become extraordinary, and then so like that's a good statement, and then you want to follow it up with a little mystery and how this benefits you, like something like, or I maybe also have to say this is a school for girls. Become an extraordinary girl, and you'd say something like a unique blend of academics and girl power. I don't know if that's the right thing to say. That might not be the right brand, but something where they're like, oh, I never heard of that. And then they have to learn a little bit more. Okay, so then we have here 2 buttons. I would just pick one. Maybe don't learn about OSS because we are learning it. We're on the website, and this is not really clear. What does it mean, learn about it?
Or if you have a button like that, just make it a little less, maybe make it look like the donate button. And
Yeah.
then make your main call to action got to stand out. So maybe use a different color that's not necessarily
Yes.
a neon color, but something that really stands out from the rest of your site.
Yeah, so like, and their school colors is blue, which is probably why they picked blue. But then maybe like an orange or a yellow would stand out against the
Right.
blueness more. I mean, the blue's not bad. It's not. I think you can stay with blue. I guess it's okay.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't make the donate button this big thing. I would make a donate page, but I don't think that needs to be the one that's highlighted.
Right.
Because I think it kind of sending the signal that like, oh, you need money. Okay, and then we have here the same style for that button, and you probably want to have a different style. And I wonder if it's repeated everywhere, like these 3, they'll have the same style. You just need the one call to action to be that big blue button, and then the other ones to be like in the donate button style.
One more thing I want to mention, up in the header here where you have the open house dates listed, I think it would be far more effective if you just had a button that allowed people to book which open house that they want to, and then use a scheduler to let them select which one works best for them. That's going to be a lot more effective than listing something out and then people are like, oh, let's see which one works for me.
Yeah, like I just said, book now, and they click it, and then it can take them to like the SSA tool we use or Calendly. They just pick the time.
Exactly.
Oh, and by the way, this tool that where is it?
You just used it.
Whatever. The one that you use to get to this webinar is the same one that we give to you if you use GradeLink, but that's how you can schedule one-on-one tours. But you can also do it for open houses.
Right.
Works good. Okay.
All right. I think we got one more website analysis. We are running a bit long, but that's okay.
Another one? I don't think we have one anymore.
Not in the chat. Up in the chat. Our sister school. Oh, okay. So, yep, we're good. We're good to go.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. I think. Oh, this one's good. Okay, let me show you here. All right. So here is cool. We got like be inspired, be determined, be unstoppable, where academics and character are classmates. Kind of cute too with the term classmates.
Is missing a period.
Oh, okay. Grammar hammer. Yes, we need a period. Okay, so is it a clear message? Kind of. Like it's in there, but it's hard to understand exactly what that means, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like I feel like it's in there. So I don't give up. This is the right direction, but like, okay, be inspired, be determined, be unstoppable. I'm finding like a disconnect between that and then talking about character, right? When I think of character, I'm like, yeah, you do have like, I feel like, for example, character and inspired to me don't necessarily go together, but something like be responsible, be honest, be helpful, like those are more character traits, right? Now, is the button standing out? Yep, the call to action is there. You did a very good job on that. It's very obvious what I'm supposed to do.
The only thing is there's 2 of them, so we might want to consolidate down to 1.
But at least one, the apply it button is like brighter and kind of like, okay, that's the one you're supposed to click.
Right.
Okay.
Although initially schedule a tour is better.
Yeah, and you do kind of read the one on the left first before the one on the right. So
true, because it's brighter. So maybe
I might make the schedule a tour, the brighter colored one. If you do have 2 buttons, I would make the schedule a tour the bright blue and then apply now the darker blue.
Agreed.
But if you have admissions, you can just put apply here, and that's good enough. Okay, the picture though, cute kids, and it's happy, but it doesn't, to me, this doesn't show me character, academics, inspired, determined. It doesn't show those things. It shows maybe like community, maybe like outdoorsy, but it doesn't show like this. So I feel like there's right things in here, but things have got to shift around a little bit for it to work. Right?
Agreed.
Okay, let me show you on mobile. How are we doing on mobile? Looks fine on mobile, right?
Yep.
Okay, down here, this is stock photo, and I know because I used that exact same stock photo before. So, and this one, I know because I use that on the blog.
Yeah, I
So,
think these are all stock photos. I believe
oh,
this
maybe
particular school didn't have
all of them are stock. Okay.
yeah.
Well, they picked pretty good stock photos because this one doesn't look stock photo to me, but maybe it does to other people. But anytime you can use not stock is the best. Okay, and then here it would be a suggestion. So I might be getting the school wrong here, but I'm picking the character trait, like character, as like the benefit of the school or what's unique about it. So like be helpful, be responsible, be intentional. Oh, and I left the period off too. um, but those are sort of in line with where academics meets character. And then I put people volunteering because that kind of fit into that idea for me. So you don't have to go with this execution, but just the idea of like, okay, put the picture and the headline and the subline should have a same theme to it. What do you think? Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. And then let's see here. Okay. So once again, if you guys want their free review, I know we said it like 5 times, so forgive us if we're being annoying, but we will definitely help you. And oh, we've got one more. Okay.
The
All right.
awesome news is
Last one.
I see that 4 people have already scheduled website analyses.
Okay. So you people who schedule the website analysis, you get to get one of these. Vince will reach out to you and then you can pick the color. I don't know if the color matters to you, but they have like gray, black, pink, white, silver, all the different colors. Okay, but I hope this process, this repetition will help you start to understand it. Because I think it's easier to like to look at other people's websites and see the flaws. But then when you look at your own, like it's hard to know what to do, right? Okay, so here, is there a clear message? Like what is going on? Uniqueness is here. Learn it your way. Like it sounds like, okay, this is some kind of custom education plan. Like if you go here, maybe you get to pick how you learn it. But something about being unique and learning it your way is here. It's not really clear exactly what that is or how that's done. This would be a great place for mystery though, right? They could say, I don't know if they want to put, you don't want to give it away. You don't want to say like online or in person, because then I just gave away the learn it your way, what that means. But something like, what could you do, Vince?
Not too sure about that one.
Like learn in a way you've never done before and you'll never go back to how it was before. That's way too long. but we could play with this one. This would be fun. And then it's like the picture is way bigger than the words. And I think we kind of want it the other way. I want the message to be a little bigger than the picture.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Okay. I like the colors. Like you nailed the branding style here. This is really good. So branding is good. You got a lot of nice white space in between. So that's good too. Down here, these look like real photos of like the actual kids. And then above, that starts to make these look a lot more like stock photos. So
I'm pretty sure that those are stock photos.
I am too. But so I would just take these photos, use them everywhere, and then you can bump up the contrast and things like that to try to make them look more stockish. But I know stock photos are always better, but like they're going to pop out a little better. Okay. Oh, and then you don't have the, they have call to actions over here on the side, but it kind of like
doesn't really stand out too much.
Yeah. If you can just take the book a tour one and then just put it like a big button on the side somewhere.
Plus, I think functionality wise, when you hover over book a tour on there, it's easy to lose it.
Yeah. I mean, it's convenient, but it's then sticking out. Yeah. Okay. This one's cool. All right. Do we know what the dream big, work hard, be smart? I can't really tell, like, is that like, I see 3 girls, like, is this a girls' school? Is it?
Looks like it's a K-8 private Montessori school.
Where do you see that? Oh,
I'm
right here.
just reading into the text.
Oh,
It doesn't say it's girls only, but
well,
all
yeah,
the
no.
photos are only girls.
I feel like you just need to say if it's a Montessori school, just say we're a Montessori school. I mean, it is Montessori school, but say we're a Montessori school, and then you need to say something unique about it because like not everyone knows what Montessori is, or they might have heard of it, but they don't really understand. Like this is the first time they're really looking at what it is. So we need to say a little bit more clearly what that means. Contact us is good, but it's a little bit vague what that means, right? I think being more clear, like if they were to contact you, what would you tell them? You would say, oh, you should come on site for a tour, or you should, I don't know, probably fill out financial aid, probably not that, probably just do a tour, right?
Yeah, that's
or
the most typical, especially for
yeah. So I would
physical
just
location schools.
say that in the button, like meet us in person. We'll sit down together and talk about your educational plans.
Right.
Okay.
Let's hop to
All
the
right.
next one.
I don't want to take it like right to the end, but okay. If you're here, I guess you probably really are waiting. Okay. Okay, so this is like a new website. So this is literally the only page on the entire website. The branding for the logo is great. So you got a good strong brand, but you don't really. This is a good benefit statement, and it does have mystery, but it's not like clear enough like what that means. So, and then there's not a what do I do next type of thing.
Yeah, there's no call to action
Yes, email the
unless
kindergarten
it's
teacher.
email the kindergarten teacher.
Yeah, that doesn't. I mean, down here it says email her for more information. So that if you only do one thing today, take this sentence and then just put it right underneath that title.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
only do one thing, but ideally you would have a very clear standout button that links
Yeah.
over to a form. That way your email is also going to be protected from a
Right.
whole lot of spam.
But like if you only have like, oh, I see. Yeah, you might get spammed, but you're probably
Right.
getting the same amount of spam. But okay, if you're literally gonna say like I only spent 5-10 minutes total and then I'm done for the day, just take that and move it up to the top and maybe take this statement, launching for students for life, and then just put it there at the top.
Right.
Launching
You don't need
students
to
for
state
life.
the name of the school again because it's in the logo.
Yeah, just put it there and then just put here, do this. And then people will more likely do that than they. So, okay. Oh gosh, should we do another one? It's like already 12.
Let's skip this one for now, unless anybody has any objections.
Okay. All right. Thank you all for sticking around. Okay, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down in the chat, or you can give like a sideways smile if it was just okay. Put an emoji in there to give us some feedback about how it went.